Thank you so much, everyone, for coming back and seeing another video that we're producing for your benefit. And I am again here with Brian Jessen with Wintrust Mortgage. I am Celeste Barr with eXp Realty. And this video is going to be about giving all the right information, whether it's you giving your information to your lender and giving them all of your information, not to assume. I'll give this as an example. I have a past client who they had the conversation with their lender, but I guess what they may not have understood is when he asked what their income was, and they combined their income with their spouse's, and their spouse hadn't worked in a year and a half. So they were quoting from when he did work a year and a half ago. So how do you propose, Brian, when you're speaking with people, is there something that you can sense when they're telling you the truth?
Um, Sometimes they're kind of evasive, or I have to get back to you on that, and they don't get back to you. I think it's just asking, like having a conversation, not just peppering people with a series of questions, because then it becomes they're somewhat defensive and they feel like you're grilling them like the IRS. And our stuff isn't shared. Our information isn't shared with any governmental agency. Our information isn't shared with their real estate attorney or with you, Celeste. You just want to make sure they're qualified to
Mm-hmm.
want to buy, or whatever it may be. So that's something that people, if you have a conversation with them and make them feel comfortable, and it's not confrontational, I'm not going to rat them out to anybody if they have an IRS tax lien, or they're have alimony or child support, or maybe they're behind in those payments, or they have credit issues that they're not really excited about sharing. But it's okay, because the only way to address it is to know about it. And our job is to help try to fix the situations if we can fix them, or at least give them a long-term plan to get to where they want to be. So I think if you de-escalate that and don't seem like it's an interview in a dark room with a light on, and instead it's just, hey, let's have a conversation about what it is you're interested in and why you're thinking about buying. And they won't even know necessarily what correct questions to ask. They'll have some questions, but if you haven't bought a home before, you don't know what questions to ask. I mean, I just had somebody coming over to my sister's townhouse today, and she needed a bunch of things fixed, which are just like maintenance things. But one of them was with her hot water heater, and one's with the water filtration system. So honestly, I know what a hot water heater does. It heats up water, right? But I have no idea about the inner workings of a hot water heater. And I know a water filtration system filters water and you change the filter out every 3 months, but I have no idea how to fix that. So I asked some questions, but he said, well, you might want to know this as an example. This water heater is a shorty. I'm like, what's a shorty? He goes, it's only like 4.5 feet tall. He goes, and that's actually a good thing because it's easier to pull out. And he goes, then it's also easily accessible. It's not behind a bunch of other things. So when I call the person to come get this water heater replaced, they need to know this information. But I wouldn't have known to tell that information to the hot water person or the plumber. So he knew that information to ask and to tell the person that was going to come out and fix it, because it actually reduced the cost of replacing that water heater by about $600 by sharing the correct information. And then he also took a picture of the water filtration system and goes, he'll know what filters you need. And there was a part we needed. He'll know what part that is and how to get it. So same thing with us. If we're talking to you about things, we're doing it so that we can give you a very clear picture of where we stand, and help you answer questions you may not think to even ask, because we've been through a lot of situations, as has Celeste. So like example one was that I didn't think to ask, because this wouldn't come up very often, is this person was applying to me. He's an attorney, but he had a very serious legal issue outside of the state of Illinois, like a very serious one that caused a disbarment. Now, the person still had a legal practice, but he had other people doing the legal work. But a lender is not going to lend you money if you have major issues uh, criminally or so with the federal government. So I didn't even think to ask that question because I haven't ever had that come across. And I wish the person well. I said, I hope you can get things straightened out and so on. But, you know, it was a major issue for any lender. But if there's other issues you have, like I said, some credit lates or an IRS tax lien, or you're on a payment plan with the IRS or whatever, it's okay to tell us because it really allows us to figure out what you qualify for. And we're not in the business of sharing that information with anybody. We're just trying to figure out financing and solutions for you and the best solutions and a path for you to get to where you want to be. And it may not be in a week or two. It may take a little time. But I've had people that have had very difficult situations that we worked through them over time. And the second or third purchase, they were phenomenally qualified borrowers with the absolute phenomenal credit and the best interest rates. But it took a little time to do that. But they got to where they wanted to be. So that's a lot of words. It's just the bottom line is please tell us and we'll ask questions, but it's not an interrogation. It's just simply a fact-finding mission to see if we can give you the best advice.
Well, and I think it kind of boils down to how is it that you want to buy if you already know you're questioning your ability? And do you know that this process takes time? All of us are using our time to make it work. And if you're not able and you know you're not able, really, in effect, you're wasting your own time, let alone someone else's time.
How about
So
something?
it pays.
What do you ask buyers that they don't always even know to ask you? So
Well,
when
one thing I love when you talk to people and they're talking about how limited they are on funds. And I think we have many ways we can slice this. One of which is, do they have a 401k? We can borrow on that 401k. And sometimes when I even talk about it, people are like, I didn't know I could borrow on my 401k, or I could get a gift. And what does a gift mean? I'll ask you that because Brian, maybe you've experienced that, I'm assuming. That, if someone is getting a gift, is there a limit as to how much they can get and who can give the gift?
So let's go back to the first one. So the 401k, when you borrow against, you're basically paying yourself back. So you're paying yourself back with interest. So it's money that you have put aside, usually as a percentage that you can borrow based on the size of the account that you've accumulated. And then you're paying it back and you're paying yourself back with interest. So we don't even count that payment against you because you're basically borrowing your own money and paying yourself back through the 401k account. So that's important to know that you're actually, we don't count that payment against you when you qualify for a loan because you're basically paying yourself back. And then as far as gifting, there's really no limit onto the amount of gifts, but I believe the current limit is anybody can gift you up to $18,000 without any reporting to the IRS or to the government. And typically, we're looking for some kind of relationship. It's either a family member, somebody you're living with, an uncle, an aunt, a grandfather, a mom, dad, brother, sister, that type of thing is the people usually willing to gift you money. And all we need is a gift letter, and then they send the fire funds to you through a wire. And then we don't even ask for their statement. So the donor that's giving you the gift, if they do it a certain way, we don't even ask for documentation of their account. So if they're filling out the gift form and they're giving it to you as a gift, and they wire the money into your account, we're not even asking them for documentation to show that they had the money to give you the gift, and we're not looking for their banking statement to show they gave the gift. So it's a lot less intrusive for the person donating the money than they think if they do it the easiest way as far as how a lender is concerned. So they don't feel like we're prying too much into they're doing a good thing, which is gifting money to you as the buyer. And we were trying to make it as comfortable as we can for them without feeling too intrusive.
Okay. And is there a requirement of at least a minimum amount of time that they would have given you the money in advance of the closing?
No, there's kind of an old adage. If you didn't want to show the gift, you would donate it ahead of time to you 3 months ahead of time. Then you'd show us two bank statements with consistent balances. So we would never know the gift was made. But it's not bad if people are gifting you money. You can show it to us, and we'll work through it. Sometimes there's a minimum amount of money you have to have contributed to the transaction, depending on the type of mortgage you're picking up, and if you have any grants, down payment assistance programs you're taking advantage of. But it's our job to kind of walk you through that. But if you're saying trying to quote hide the gift and not show the lender, you would,
No, just when it needs to be in.
yeah, it just should be documented through a gift letter, and if they wire the money to your account, we're not going to ask for a bunch of other documentation.
Okay. Well, and I feel like even just this simple conversation about where are you getting your money from is a conversation, because people are not telling you, you're thinking it's from their own income when in fact maybe it's not. Maybe a good proportion of it is a gift. And how do you handle how much money are you thinking you're going to be getting? And when is it going to be in your possession? All these great questions need to be discussed. And none of it's wrong. It's just a conversation. That's how I see it. And I love the fact that we're talking about it because, of course, some of these stories are from when things don't go well. So you just have to know that our business is a lot of questions that we ask, but a lot of communication. Talk to us, tell us what's going on so we can adjust accordingly.
Yeah, and the more you tell us, the more we can try to be helpful. So I think it's to be helpful, be positive, and be solution oriented for you. And there's no judgment. I think Celeste and I have seen many interesting situations, and we don't think badly of anybody. We're just trying to help them out.
Yeah, for sure. Well, again, thank you so much, Brian. You're a wealth of information, and I truly, really, truly appreciate you. And I hope that the people who are watching understand and see the same value that I see.
Well,
So,
yes, I appreciate the opportunity to share this with people, and hopefully people will watch it and forward it and share it with other people as well. Because I think the more you can get word out to people, the more they don't hear misinformation or just hear things that don't apply to them. And the more they talk about it with people that have done this for a while, that have the experience, the more helpful we all can be, whether it be Celeste, myself, or both of us as a team.
thank you. Well, and also thank you for watching our videos. And I'm positive that we'll probably have more coming in the near future. So thank you, and make sure you visit again.
Thanks, Celeste. Bye now.
Sure. Bye-bye.